5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Please do not change channel.
From Krypton Radio, brought to you by Famous Faces and Funnies and Off the Chain with Yvonne Mason, it's the Hanging with Web Show Radio Hour, the Internet's premier pop culture talk radio show. You're tuned in, you're logged on, and now your hosts, GW Pomichter and Christian Basel. Who are you hanging with?
Hello, Krypton Radio and World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel. Hello, everybody on iHeartRadio and everybody where you're listening to Hangin' with Web.
That's right. We are here, and this is an exciting week for us. This is a great week. Unfortunately, our travel plans were interrupted, but San Diego, world-famous Comic-Con International in San Diego, California, is happening this weekend. Ta-da! Pop culture's biggest, baddest convention anywhere.
Uber Geekery.
That's it. And this is the Disney World standard of Comic-Cons. And even though we couldn't be there, our travel plans were interrupted, we are excited because we have some fantastic Hangin' with Web Show alumni that will be at San Diego this year with some great people. That have all sat in the chair and been gracious with their time and just become really good friends of the show. We have Mitch Hyman, the devil himself, from the writer of the Bubba the Redneck Werewolf, among other. I know, isn't it great? And we have Mitch Hyman, and we also have Ryan James. Our good friend Ryan James, the producer of Shooting Clerks, which is the Kevin Smith biopic about the shooting of the cult classic indie film Clerks. And Clerks 2, and of course that is the place where Jay and Silent Bob were born.
Snoochie Boochies.
Yeah. So, and Ryan's going to be out there. Who else we have, Christian? We got
Cecil Garner of Cecil Grimes Cosplay, the ultimate, and I think for me the premier Rick Grimes.
He is, and he also has the distinction of being one of the pioneers of SetPlay, which for those of you who are attending cons for the first time may be unfamiliar with it. There's Cosplay, which is fantastic. Cosplayers from all around the country will be at San Diego Comic-Con. They'll be, trying out new costumes. These are people who they make their costume parts a lot of times. They make their own armor. They do makeup effects. They do great things. But SetPlay is when you immerse yourself in a pop culture world.
It is a visual smorgasbord.
It is. And Cecil Grimes Cosplay is one of the premier set players. He sets up a Walking Dead set from the current season and does Rick Grimes. He has zombies. He brings out other cosplayers to do the other characters. And it's an immersive, it's a photo op, but it's a photo op experience. You're in this world for a couple of minutes, and then you get to take a photo home, which is great.
You see other cosplayers, and I know this is disrespect to them, but they're usually behind a table, and they have their banner behind them, and they come across the table, and they take their pictures and stuff like that. When you go out to Cecil Grimes, and other cosplayers are following places like House of Commotion.
That's right. Cosmic Commotion, who is a great friend of the Hangin' with Web Show. Shalane and Dean have just come in from SuperCon this past weekend. I know you were at SuperCon this weekend, huh?
I was at SuperCon, yeah, and it was magnificent. Shatner was there.
Nice.
Not a visitor, which I barely see out in the convention circuit. Gates McFadden, both from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Next Generation.
Uh-huh. Oh, Michael Roker.
Yeah, Michael Roker, yeah. And there's a plethora of other stars from wrestling as well as voiceovers. I got to see Kevin Conroy. Got a few pictures with the traveling TARDIS with Donna and Kevin.
Awesome. That's fantastic. No, SuperCon was a great con, and there were some fantastic people there. We're glad to have you down there on site. I know you did some panels and you did some discussion groups, and that was really great. So we got Cecil Grimes at San Diego. Melissa Gibbo.
Oh, yes.
Melissa Gibbo was so excited. This is Melissa's our Hangin' with Web Show author. Many of you guys know in some of those really, really first episodes of the Hangin' with Web Show, we were literally walking around interviewing creative artists with our cell phone. And Melissa Gibbo is, I think, maybe one of the first 5 or 6 interviews that we got to do from Speculative Fiction Conference in Orlando, Florida. And Melissa has been a good friend of the show ever since. We caught up with her again last year at Authors in a Box, and she kind of brought us up to speed on all of her projects and all of her work. And we were watching her on social media when she got her professional pass this year.
She is so excited.
She's very excited, and we're excited. We're going to share those. We're going to share those interviews with you later on in the show. But you know what? We have to talk about it's San Diego Comic-Con. There is plenty of news surrounding Comic-Con International. So we're going to kick off the news.
Okay, I have some exciting news for San Diego Comic-Con. HBO and Lucasfilms are actually not going to be making an appearance, so that leaves some room for other people. Marvel is going to be showing their sneak peek for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh.
Yes. Also, Cloak and Dagger and Iron Fist. We're going to get to see some previews for that. So that is going to be amazing fun. And also, they are going to host the premiere of Castle Rock, which is Hulu's new psychological original show by J.J. Abrams and Stephen King.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I know it's great. We're catching up with pop culture this week. One of I'll give a good shout out. They don't need it, but I'll give it to them anyway. To the great folks over at Smodcast with Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, as you guys know, is the producer director of the movie Clerks and the creator of Jay and Silent Bob. He's also a director on many of CW's DC shows. And a plethora of other things. But one of the things he does is he likes to keep everybody appraised of what's happening in pop culture from his perspective.
Yes.
And we were watching, kind of getting caught up with what's going on this week. He's be out there hosting the IMDb show from the IMDb boat at San Diego.
How awesome is that?
That is fantastic. And so IMDb has they have a big yacht. They have a yacht, and they bring on the celebrity guests from Comic-Con, and Kevin interviews them and shares them with the World Wide Web. Not that they need a shout-out from the Hangin with Web show, but we'll give them one anyway because they keep us up to date. When we miss out on a convention or we can't go somewhere, I always turn to a handful of YouTubers and great podcasters that are out there, and Kevin Smith is one of them because he's funny and he's, that's our generation. That's Silent Bob. What are you going to do?
That's exactly right.
Silent Bob tells you what's going on in the world of conventions. I love that. So,
well, okay, so even though we won't get any sneak peeks for the new Game of Thrones season, Hodor, who is Christian Aaron, is actually going to be DJing live at the Omnia nightclub in downtown San Diego, and that'll be tonight.
That's fantastic. That's great because
so putting in an appearance.
I don't know if any people out there realize this, but Christian actually that was his gig.
Yes,
he's a DJ and he loves it. So DJ Hodor.
Yes.
That's what I love it. It's fantastic. And it's still too soon, so nobody make the hold the door jokes. It's still too soon. We're still reeling.
Also, if you're hungry, by the way, at San Diego Comic-Con, it is the 25th anniversary of Demolition Man. And we know all restaurants will be Taco Bell in the future, right?
Yes,
well, yes. They are transforming San Diego's Greystone Steakhouse into the futuristic version of Taco Bell, and they will be giving away some free food to promote their nacho fries. So look for that. It's going to be
nacho fries?
It's going to be right outside the convention center.
Oh, yeah. Demolition Man, Rad Burgers. All right, guys. Well, we're going to kick off the show, the interview segment of the show. Who's up first, Christian?
Well, we're going to start off with the Walking Dead, our featured artist, Cecil Garner of Cecil Garner Cosplay. He is the premier.
All right.
Premier Big Crimes guy. So let's start off big.
Let's go big. Let's go huge. Remember, everybody, stick around for the interviews. Stay logged on. Stay tuned in and see who we're hanging with next. Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel.
And we are on day 4 at MegaCon.
The gray hair is starting to settle in, I know. Cecil's is natural anymore. He doesn't have to put on makeup.
He was a redhead yesterday. I'm just saying, this is the last day of MegaCon. We're here. We're hanging out on set This is the first time we've been able to bring him to us. And it wasn't easy. There's a line, man. You got a queue.
Yes, we like queues.
Queues are good. We're hanging out with Cecil Grimes Cosplay, Cecil Garner. It's Rick Grimes. As far as you know, it's Rick Grimes. As far as they know, it's Rick Grimes. And you can get a photo op if you're at
Except
a con.
for the actor who plays the actual Rick Grimes is now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just don't tell him.
That's right.
We don't tell him about that.
Cecil has won awards for his cosplay, so he has the clout. He has the bragging rights.
You have had one hell of a year, man.
Yes.
Since the last time we sat down, you have been literally around the world.
Yep, I'm working my way almost all the way around.
All the way around the world.
Absolutely.
You got some new characters over here.
Yes.
But no, you have some new actors over here, not new characters. Your Negan is actually, you picked him up in the UK.
Yes. Yeah, Darren Tilson.
Wow.
Notorious Negan. The Notorious Negan.
The Notorious Negan.
He lives just outside of London.
Just outside of London.
And when I went over to Walker Stalker London in Germany, we hooked up and, took some pictures. Everywhere we went.
He looks amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
He really does. And we have one of our authors in. I hope you met her yesterday. We sent her over to you. Ellie Perez came in yesterday. She's about a 3.5 foot tall Latino woman, and she came over as she was doing the Abraham. She had the red hair and she had the
I missed her.
handlebars. Oh gosh, it was the funniest thing you ever saw. You haven't seen the big, until you've seen it 4.5 foot tall. It was amazing.
Your cosplay is. Here's the difference. I mentioned this in our radio show on iHeartRadio and Krypton Radio. There's two types of cosplayers. There's the person who's behind the desk and the person who's in front of the desk. And the person behind the desk, they're usually just playing with their phones and just gossiping. They feel like Cecil not only is the front, which I respect more as the cosplayer, but has taken that to a whole new level. I mean, you bring extra dimension. You built your own set. Can you tell everybody about that?
Yeah,
because you came up with that concept, right?
Well, you did. We talked to so many. For those of you who don't know, we are situated in the middle. We have Cosplay Ellie. We have all the set players here.
Yep.
SetPlay is in the convention world a relatively new phenomenon,
right?
And you are one of the pioneers of SetPlay.
Yeah, I took it into.
To know that and to watch all of these sets get built.
Right.
And know that you were one of the earliest set players.
Yeah.
That's got to be cool, man.
It's cool now because initially when I started, I was so focused on what I was doing. All these other people doing it and contacting me for tips and how to do it. I didn't think about the fact that it was a trend that was building until what it's become today and how many people are getting into it.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a profound when you stop and think, wow. This wasn't here before.
Yeah.
Of course, the 501st always had their Star Wars.
You had the big organizations. You really did. The 501st, oh my God, hats off to the work that those guys do. The Rebel Legion. The Star Wars guys, they've always been bringing a whole other level of reality. I mean, right down to, we got a chance with Christian's Legend of the Javelin TARDIS. We got a great shot of the TARDIS with Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru over the 501st.
Oh, yes,
laying there on the ground. They always... But for the rest of us, the cosplay community here, SetPlay wasn't. I mean, it's hard. Yeah. You show us on your live videos and things what you're working on.
Right. I think it was just like cosplay. People go at it without any experience and not much knowledge, and see if they can do what they can do. And I did that with my set. I didn't have any.
If you guys get out to a con and check out Cecil Garner's set. What this man can do with a piece of PVC pipe is freaking amazing. You have the new tower piece up there you're working on.
Right, yeah. I started this whole thing out with the prism, with the crazy bearded grip. Carried the prism through, and then, after using that for a year, it was time to build a new set, so I went with the Alexandria. And so I built Alexandria up for half a year, and obviously following the show, I had to take a blowtorch to it, because it was taking battle damage. And, blood on the walls and such. And I changed the tower from the guard tower from the prison to the Alexandria. I think what you'd call that lookout structure they have, but it's an iconic, tower.
The academic in me is supposed to know the answer to that question, and I don't. so I'm just going to say it. I know.
Watchtower, bell tower, church.
It's a bell tower. It really
it's something like that.
It is a bell tower.
Yeah.
And, as far as a convention, especially for the smaller conventions, for the marketing side of things, his tower is so tall, it becomes a place of reference. Because it's going like, oh yeah, just look for Cecil's Tower and head left, or go right.
It is.
And you can't miss it at the conventions.
This is, for Florida, this is, just virtually the mother of cons in Florida.
Yes.
And it's built bigger and bigger every year. And your set, even here, amongst all of this, I'm loving the light up banner.
Yeah.
The burning underneath, that is...
carries the burn tower onto the top.
You did some work this year to add some smoke elements.
Well, yeah, I built a smoke machine on a remote that feeds into the 1-inch PVC frame, and I drilled some holes to allow it to smolder and not interfere with anybody else's booth. So that gives it the extra burn effect without making people crazy.
How many players do you have over there with you right now? I mean, you have zombies. I know you have your Negan. You have how many players do you have on set with you?
Players, I had 3 zombies with me on Friday. I had my host lookalike, which was Darren, and myself were the 5 for that day.
Now you have the same Darren from last year, was it?
No, I think last year was probably Robert Martinez, because I had a Negan.
Yeah, you had an Negan last year.
Last year, and that would have been the local.
We're very proud. Cecil and I were fortunate enough last year. Cecil's Negan and our cosplay Michael went head to head in the cosplay contest.
Yes.
And they finished first and second.
Yep, that was Robert.
And we were just proud parents in the background.
Right. Rob's a great guy.
Rob's a great guy.
Yeah.
He really was.
Yeah.
And so gracious.
Yes.
Really, really, really was.
Super guy.
Look, you have traveled the world now. You have had the Walking Dead cast on your set.
Yes, that's amazing.
What's the coolest picture for Cecil? What's the one that you have on the wall at home? What's that one?
Of course, when Nora Rios popped in. But Rooker, other than being able to meet with Andrew Lincoln behind his set, but in my set would have been Rooker coming through, being crazy as he is. It was kind of like almost a hit and run. The door opened, hey, out! And he grabbed something, and we took a couple shots, and you know what he said? I saw him at the last convention in Nashville, and he says, I still have that on my wall.
That's awesome.
Michael Rooker has our picture in my set on his wall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in other words, Daddy's got you on his wall.
That is crazy.
It is. As creative artists, it is particularly complimentary when a subject of your creation or someone you really respect or someone who's really prominent gets about, and you've had all of that.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
You've had the chance to interact with Andrew Lincoln.
Yes.
You've had Michael Roker. You've had, they've all been through, and it's a great acknowledgement of your art.
Yeah.
Which is really fantastic.
You're on an international day. You told me you went to Ecuador. You've been to Canada. What is your favorite place that you've gone to outside of the U.S.?
Well, I went to Guayaquil, Ecuador, and they treated me like a dang rock star. They
as one does.
And then the fans acted like I was a rock star. So it was a wonderful experience. And because I did Ecuador, I'm booked in Lima, Peru, and Cali, Colombia now. And so I'm opening up that whole South American continent, which treated me wonderful. But Germany was good to me too, and I'm going back there at the end of June next month.
Wow,
they booked me for a Comic-Con there because of Walker Stalker Germany. They saw me. So it's just like perpetuating.
I'll tell you what. And now you and I talked way back about your journey into this, and so from that first, Rick Grimes cosplay, where the contest and everything else. Did you ever see a moment when this would be your life? This would be that you'd make it with that character even.
Right.
I mean, not so much. I mean, we all know if we have creative ambitions.
Right.
But you kind of walked into this and you came in as a look-alike cosplayer.
Just enjoying it.
And now this is it, man. You're on the road. You're traveling. You're living the dream.
Well, it kind of took me in its own current. I did it. I won the contest, and that's how I started getting invitations. And, I do Rick. I have some other cosplays, didn't even show them to anybody, but I'm a one-hit wonder, I guess you'd say, that on purpose. So that's
just so happens that your one hit has lasted.
Yeah,
so
it has lasted, and it keeps on growing.
And it's multiple hits, by the way, because it's one character, but we were talking about this off set. Cecil's facial hair and hair changes more by the nature of his character.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got to be able to shrink and grow facial hair at will, at command.
That guy is a moving target. And every episode in a season, the color changes in his beard. The color of his hair just dyed a little different. So it makes me crazy trying to figure out.
Cecil's the guy at home, and he's got the stop motion back and forth.
No, you did the old man Logan version in the dream sequence. It was all great. So you took the picture. I'm like, oh my God, it's almost uncanny. It was sad.
It is.
Yes.
I mean, so you're changing it up as much as any other cosplayer. You're using the same character changed up every time. Yeah. So that is really, really amazing.
I envy you. You've been to other countries. We're lucky if we can get out of a state that doesn't end in the letter A. So we'll catch up to you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We're always happy to catch up. Last time we saw you was Melbourne Independent Film Festival.
Yes. That was wonderful.
One of the things that happened at MIF, which was really awesome, and it speaks well to how well you create this character. You were in your street clothes, and we ran into each other outside the theater, and the young woman that was standing next to us, you and I shook hands and hugged, and we were talking, and afterwards she came up to me and she said, "Is that the guy from Walking Dead?" and I said, "Well, in a manner of speaking." And then she went in and met you, and she said, you were so gracious. She loved talking to you. But it speaks to how well you put that character together. You were in your street clothes, just coming out for the night, and that was the first. Was that the guy from Walking Dead? And I thought, well, as far as you know, yes, it was.
Well, Sage is holding Lucille's bat over the camera, waving at us.
She does that.
So, just real quick, where can people see you coming up next?
Yeah, where are you headed from here, man?
Okay, from here I'll be in the Philippines, second weekend of June.
My hometown.
And then I'll be back in the Philippines. Manila.
Summertime, he's headed to the Philippines.
And then 2 weeks later, I'll be in Stuttgart, Germany. July, I'll be in Peru, and then Colombia, Cali, Colombia.
You need to get a climatization rider, because from the Philippines to Germany.
Right. I'm a mess. Yeah, I will be a mess.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been hanging out with Cecil Grimes Cosplay. Cecil Garner, the creator of the Walking Dead SetPlay at a convention near you. You got to get by and check this out, man. You could film a movie on this set if your camera is small. Because he opens up as much as he can. It's proportional. That's right. We have to say thank you to our partners and friends. As we do that, we want to say thanks a lot to Famous Faces and Funnies. Rick Shea, the team over there, have been helping us out from the very beginning. Some Unique Magazine, F. Kenneth Taylor, and Kevin Daniels have been really super to us. Krypton Radio for letting us do every week. They let us put on the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour for a whole hour. We've talked cosplay, conventions.
Nice.
They haven't thrown us off yet.
Yeah.
And I told them already. I called them up. I said, "Look, Christian doesn't wear pants when we record," and they said it's okay. It's just fine.
Just never say that again.
We want to thank Space Ghost Comics, Asylum Convention Entertainment Services, and the great folks here at MegaCon 2018. Remember, everybody, subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
And don't forget to catch us on iHeartRadio.
Thank you for having me.
Brother. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cosplay Michael with the Hangin' with Web Show, and you're listening to Krypton Radio. And remember, cosplay's for everyone.
From author Julie Morgan comes this epic erotic fantasy, The Concubine and Her Vampires. Olivia Martin's sole purpose as a blood demon was to be little more than a blood bag to a vampire master. Then came Jared and his 4 brothers. Now at the center of her own vampire harem, need, lust, and blood drive Olivia further into a life she never considered possible. The Concubine and Her Vampires by Julie Morgan is available now on Amazon.com. Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on and tuning in. We hope you go down and hit subscribe for us. Come back over and over and over again. See some fantastic. We have artists, authors, filmmakers, musicians, creators of all kinds here on the Hangin with Web Show. So don't forget to subscribe. We're here at Jamie Engel's Authors in a Box. We're celebrating Christmas at the Melbourne Square Mall. Come on by and get a book. Aha, you missed it. Sorry. You're going to see this next week and you've missed it already. Plan your next Christmas accordingly, because this is the first annual Authors in a Box. And we're here and we're hanging right now with author Melissa Gibbo. Melissa, you were like our first interview on the floor at SetPlay.
Well, you were my first interview ever, so...
See that?
All the others were online or by mail.
See, so here we are. It's been almost 2 years since that interview. And you are one of the members of the Dark Alley crew, and our viewers will know John and Tyson and the rest of the gang from Necronomicon and here. We keep missing you.
They call me Squirrel for a reason. I'm a little harder to pin down. I kind of dodge and just disappear.
Yeah. We understand that you were tasked with the first chapter of the group short story.
Oh, yes.
You got to Dark and Stormy Night, you actually had to, they gave you that line and said, build a story.
Yes, I had to set it off. It was a blind round robin. So the first person gets theoretically the worst line, the most cheesy line for a horror story, writes the first chapter, and then every person after gets the last page, and they got to carry it through. So I tried to make it brief but detailed so they could roll with it.
Find some things in there to roll with, right? So, you have the Nova Nocta series. Okay. So, let's tell you, give us the series blue.
Best description I had was a fan said it's like if Walking Dead met Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And nice. I took that as a compliment. I figured the Buffy was weird for the vampires until I realized it's more of Xander's world.
That's true.
And
That's true.
It's a little
offbeat. Yeah. Okay, we like that. What's the latest one?
The latest one is my first young adult. The first one that usually it's scaring the kids too. I loved reading horror as a kid.
Well, I think kids are walking around today. They're a little too confident. We get all the scary stories. That'll terrify them a little bit.
Well, and I made this one fun. I mean, it follows a kid from Jackson from the age of 10 to 18, and you see him growing up with a living, adapting nightmare. So you're getting bullied in school. Guess what's in your nightmare? You discover girls? Oh, there's a lot of nightmares come from that. You're dealing with grief? Great. But what do you do?
Keep preaching, sister. I hear you.
But what do you do when your little brother starts having the same nightmare and it goes for them? How do you fight a nightmare?
Valid. You got to read the book to find out how you fight a nightmare.
No spoilers.
Where we at? This is what the title of this one?
This is Nightmare House. I got the cover art from Michelle Evans. She's a artist.
This is fantastic.
Local artist in Orlando.
Really. That is really amazing. That's creepy, by the way.
I gave her the vaguest of details, and she pulled out the most beautiful cover.
It is. It is fantastic. Now, readers, YA readers, what are they saying? Are you getting any feedback here?
A couple people told me they didn't sleep. One person said she burned her dinner. Another person said she will never sleep again. And one of my friends said he laughed maniacally until it got to the same nightmare he had as a kid. And he now hates my guts and wants the next one.
Best compliment ever. If you hate a writer, it's because we did our job.
He said he loved the whole thing until he got to the same nightmare he had as a kid. And he was like, how did you know? I was like, every kid does it.
Yes. See, it's just, you got to check out Nightmare House. The Nightmare House from our friend Melissa Gibbo and other and sundry. We are going to put some updated links down below so they can stalk you and find you online.
Stalking is fun.
It is. It's mostly beautiful.
Well, yeah. Well, restraining orders are just another way to say I love you.
That's right. See?
Please don't do that.
No. Yeah, easy. Okay, so since the show has grown, since we first talked, we have added a segment to the show we call it clickbait. I need a headline. One of those crazy headlines that just you can't look away from. So what I did was I said, hey, go out to the internet and find me some weird questions that people are talking about on the web. And then we're going to ask Melissa. Melissa's answer is going to be the clickbait headline. So Melissa Gibbo said, see where we're going with that?
Okay, so I got to figure out what.
All right, so ready? So, she's going to dive in a little bit slow because you write horror. And now YA is kind of light horror. Okay? Favorite paranormal monster? What's your favorite? That's your go-to?
To be honest, it's always vampire.
It's always vampire.
It's always vampire. No matter what and it's because they can blend in and look just like you, but they get the longevity to really experience history and mess things up when they want. It's the same as like a serial killer, but with more power. They can make you want them.
That is dangerous. That is very dangerous. So I told you they're weird. I told you. I have to actually read this because I can't just kind of scan it, right? So here we go. A squirrel scampers down a tree and sits next to you in the grass. He's carrying a crayon. What does he say to you, and what does he want to draw?
He wants me to draw him a treasure map where I have all his nuts from last season.
Last season?
They always lose them.
They do. He wants last season's nuts. They lost their shit behind the camera. I'm just telling you, they can't do it. Giggling back there is crazy. If you were a bag of chips, what would you be?
Lay's barbecue, because I eat so much of them, I must be what I eat.
You are what you eat. Lay's barbecue chips is what she is. And where can readers find you coming up the road?
Actually, I don't have anything planned until my next big one, which is San Diego Comic Con. I got a pro badge.
There you
go.
We will see you at San Diego for sure. Yes. It is awesome, folks. We went 2 years ago. Was the first time we went out there. We're headed out hopefully this year. We just got our pro badges for the show, so we're looking forward to that. And that's the shut up part.
Did you do that? Did you do a happy dance though when you got your pro pass?
Oh yeah. I just we were.
It was so much.
Don't laugh. They can't help but laugh. Look, I see this. I can't. Although when I got my pro pass,
this is my dance.
That's right.
People think I'm joking. That is my dancing. That's why I don't fall.
There you go. And the pro passes. We're looking forward to it. So excited for that. We're going to wrap it up, folks. As we do, we're going to thank our partners and friends over at Some Unique Magazine, Space Coast Comics, Wordfire Press, Famous Faces and Funnies, author Yvonne Mason with Off the Chain Radio, Heather Reed at Asylum Convention and Entertainment Services, and our great new friends at the Brevard Renaissance Fair. I'm GW Pomichter, and we've been hanging with author Melissa Gibbo, the author of the Nova Nocte series. Her latest book is Nightmare House. This brand new YA. Remember, folks, subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
Greetings, true believers. This is absolutely, positively not Stan Lee, reminding you that you are listening to Krypton Radio. Krypton? That's the other guys. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. Excelsior!
From author R. Kyle Hanna comes The Jake Cutter Conspiracy. How far would you go to clear your name? Jake Cutter, convicted of a crime he didn't commit, is plunged into a battle for survival in the notorious Kleenex prison. Tormented by his captors and haunted by his past, for Cutter, it's all about revenge. R. Kyle Hanna's The Jake Cutter Conspiracy. Get it now on Amazon.com.
Channeling the Mothership is an exciting journey into the higher mysteries. Certified psychic medium and clairvoyant Jerry McDaniel's readings, writings, and messages have been received by thousands of people in more than 45 countries. These messages have been obtained by channeling his higher self. How does he do it? Is it a blessing or a curse? And what lay beyond the reach of your five senses? These mysteries and so much more are examined in this explosive book, Channeling the Mothership. Explore the mysteries of the spiritual and the metaphysical. Channeling the Mothership by author Jerry McDaniel. Available on Amazon.com today.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't done it yet, take now and subscribe so you can come back and see what kind of creators we're hanging with here on the Hangin' with Web Show. We are at the 19th Annual Melbourne Independent Filmmakers Festival. That just takes up the whole card.
Yeah.
Myth. Which is going to be confused on the internet with so many other things.
Your tags will be blowing up, though.
It's just going to be great. So, we're here in Melbourne, Florida, and we're talking and hanging with Ryan James, the producer of shooting Clerks. No, he didn't shoot the clerk. See what I...
Yeah.
Did.
We got more views now.
More.
Now, this just in.
He didn't do it.
Clerk shot at Myth.
What's happening? Shot the clerk? Wait, no. Wrong movie, guys. Shooting Clerks. Ryan, man, tell us how you got involved in this film.
Okay, so yeah, it's a little bit of a weird journey I've been on.
I'm just thinking, you're doing a docudrama.
Yeah, docudrama is the best way to put it. Biopic, comedy,
on an indie film and an indie film movement, really. Because Clerks really started a movement in the indie film community. So, how do you get sucked into that? What, you're just walking down the street one day and thought, look, I have no place else to dump all my money this week. So,
well, no, actually, I mean, it wasn't really like I'm very much in the trenches type producer, you know. But I mean, that all came from a really long journey. I, of course, was a huge fan of Clerks growing up and Kevin Smith. I loved the Jay and Silent Bob movies. I actually went to the Sundance Film Festival all throughout high school, which is where Kevin's meteoric rise to fame happened in 1994. But I was in high school. I went to Countryside High School in Clearwater, Florida. And they have a TV production program there. And every year, they would take their students to the Sundance Film Festival on a field trip for a week.
That's best field trip ever.
Yeah, and so I kind of got spoiled growing up because I always went to Sundance every year, got to watch 20 films a week, you know, meet filmmakers, meet actors, and I was only in my teens. I was 15 when I first went. So the second year I went...
we hate him. Just don't worry about him. Anyway, just ignore him. Okay, so...
In 2006, I went and Kevin Smith had executive produced a movie by his friend Malcolm Ingram. It was called Small Town Gay Bar. And I found out that he was going to be there, and I was like, I don't care what I got to do. I'm waking up at 8 a.m., 7 a.m. to go out and wait in the snow, because I didn't have tickets for it, so I had to wait line for tickets in hopes that somebody didn't show up with tickets, so I'd be able to get a ticket. I was first in line, waiting in the snow for to go see this movie, and hopefully just see Kevin, because I was such a big fan. And, so we got there, we ran right to the front, you know, we're excited, and a friend came up to me and was like, Kevin Smith is smoking a cigarette outside. And we were just like, holy seats, ran out there.
Because that's kind of what Kevin Smith does.
Well, not anymore. He doesn't smoke anymore. Well, he smokes a different kind of wacky tobacco, yeah.
You guys run into Kevin on the con circuit, just wait till he comes back to the table, all right? Just saying.
Yeah, so it was cool. He got photos with us. Really super nice guy. After that, I joined his message board. It was the View Askew message board, and his movies are the View Askew production.
Okay, before Facebook, there were these things. They were called message board. It's like pre-Facebook.
It's like pre-Reddit.
Yeah, pre-Reddit.
Before Reddit, there used to be several message boards.
That's right, and then Reddit killed them.
Yeah.
So you just kind of linked up.
Yeah, it was different. I joined as a fan. You know, I watched. So after meeting him, I went and took some of the rest of my money for the field trip. I went to the Blockbuster, which was this thing back in the day. There's one in
big buildings. They had these things called tapes. And then they had DVDs, and then the corporate executives decided that digital was never going to happen. Maybe wasn't a good decision.
No.
So they don't have those buildings anymore.
Yeah, there's one in Alaska, but it's got a really entertaining Twitter page.
There you go.
So after that, I took my field trip money and I bought every Kevin Smith DVD that was at Blockbuster. And I just sat there and watched them all week, and some I'd seen, but only on like Comedy Central.
I love what Kevin is able to do with a little. He really is the
minimalist,
the master indie.
Yeah.
Because he can take a little and do so much with it.
Yeah.
And his comedic timing and talent is wonderful.
Yeah.
So it does, like you, I grew up, with Kevin Smith. And okay, so you got the peek in the head of Kevin and Brian and all these guys. Let them peek at their younger selves, which had to be a little on the surreal side for a moment or two. Because none of us like to think we're getting older. They tell me how old I am. I don't actually believe them because I feel
lying.
I'm like 21, as far as I know. So you're making Brian face down, young Brian. That's got to be fun.
Yeah, no, his reaction, I think the very first time he was asked about what it's like to see a younger version of himself portrayed in their story, he actually broke down in tears just thinking about the fact that he can't even believe that their story got to be told. And
now as a fan and coming up, to getting ready to do this, you got to meet these guys and hang out with them and have some really cool experiences. Now you're working with them on the set. There's a dream come true right there.
Yeah.
But now, where do you go from here, man?
Oddly enough,
it's like being at Disney World going, now I'm going to Disney World. Where are you going now?
It's the gift that keeps on giving because we're still technically working on the movie. What we showed today was an advanced screening.
Okay.
We have our UK premiere is going to be at the Prince Charles Cinema, the home of cult film in London, and that's going to be in January.
So life really doesn't suck right now.
No, it's pretty nice.
All, yeah.
Kevin shot when he actually got to see the movie a couple months ago for its East Coast premiere. They had Comic Book Men, his show on AMC, film the screening. And they had a camera on him the whole time he was watching the movie and got his reactions after. He couldn't believe it. He was in tears. He even rushed out of the theater just to show the camera crew, I have tears, and that's going to be airing in February, and we hope to be in LA during the week of that to actually set up our LA premieres.
I watch Kevin's YouTube show regularly, and this is one of the most grounded, level guys in the world. And he's sitting in the theater watching a movie about his movie.
Yeah.
Which is probably something he didn't ever think. So there you are. I mean, you made the original indie filmmaker break down because of your indie film.
Yeah.
That's got to be cool.
Yeah. No, that was very humbling. Yeah. Between that, I mean, they invited a lot of the cast members who we never met before, or we didn't get to shoot with, and we're maybe a little bit hesitant about the movie. Some people just I'm going to be portrayed, and I'm still alive, and so they came out to watch the movie for the very first time, and of course, everybody loved it, and they ended up saying, how do we get involved with this?
That's
so.
Awesome.
So now we shot 5 new cameos days after shooting that, hours before a New Jersey screening that we had, so those are getting added.
For those of you who don't know, in filmmaking, reshoots are nothing really new. However, it is unusual to go to a premiere and then add entirely new characters.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
But we had to open that time portal again because we had scenes with Brian Johnson from Comic Book Men, who he was the last of the 4 comic book men that we hadn't got. He's a little bit tough to get a hold of, and again very kind of hesitant. And finally, after he saw the movie, he was like, of course we said we won't be offended if you don't do. He's like, yeah, you will. Of course you're going to be offended. Yeah, let's do it.
At this point, you're the last one that hasn't signed up.
Yeah, no, everybody else.
TikTok, come on.
Yeah, so being able to do that, meet our
what
heroes.
What are audiences saying? They're doing pre-screenings here. What are audiences? You guys do a lot of talking.
Yeah, we had an hour-long Q&A, so that was really cool.
Are they loving it?
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody people that have never seen the original Clerks movie.
I was going to say, Clerks really is a cult classic. It's something you kind of grow up on. It was what would have been an 80s, 90s generation version of counterculture film. Mm-hmm. So it's not like everybody went to the movie theater and saw Clerks.
No.
If you haven't seen it by now, there's a place you can see it, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, so you're doing this film about, and now you're walking into audiences, and I did understand, one of the girls told me that she heard somebody saying on the way out, now they had to go home and watch Clerks.
Yeah. Every screening we go to, people come up and say, I've never seen Clerks, and I absolutely love this movie. I have to see it now. It's like its own little gateway drug into Clerks, into the world of Kevin Smith and the Jay and Silent Bob movies.
Which is, guys, Google Kevin Smith, okay? That's a funny joke.
Yeah,
or Jason
perfect.
Mewes, or or Brian, just Google them, and that just becomes funnier. Okay, so where are you headed from here? Where are you headed now? I mean, did you think of any cameos or anything? I mean, because every time you guys show the film, somebody else wants to be in it.
Yeah, there's going to
be a 5.5-hour film when you're done.
No, honestly, we're still trying to keep it down. It's not too long of a film. It's about an hour 37, which is another Kevin Smith joke. But I think it's about every time we get to screen it, there's something new, something interesting, and new collaborations, new contacts, and just.
I know you're working on distribution right now. Getting it out there, finding a good avenue.
We're going to look for a home once the Comic Book Men episode airs to several million people. That's kind of what we're waiting for. Is that's our checkpoint of now hoping that the distribution goes through.
You guys keep an eye for Ryan James everywhere because that's brilliant. It really is. I mean, that's next level. That's actual LA Hollywood level thinking. Because everybody that finishes a product, the first thing you want to do is share it with everyone. Yeah. But to know enough, to be smart enough to say, hey, you know what? They're going to show this, and somebody will want to distribute it then.
We've gotten offers.
That's next level thought.
But I mean, the same thing too is Brian. What's really cool about Brian O'Halloran is everywhere we go, he'll even just quiz the open cast or the cast of audience, where he'll say, "What do you think this movie's worth?" And people will throw out numbers that are few and far between. Where we were at, but it also makes us feel good because people enjoy it that much. But it's tough because as first-time filmmakers making a movie about a first-time filmmaker, you really want to jump for the money quick because, like, my director, Christopher Downey, that his job is dad. He's a dad and a filmmaker. He's at home all the time working on this movie, but I'm juggling, 3 studio film promotion marketing jobs on the side that it's like, yeah, we could really use the money, but at the same time it's like we're holding out for more. That's what I'm saying. We have to wait for the
because I would not have known. I like I said, I grew up with Clerks. I knew what it was. I saw it way back in the day.
Yeah.
I revisited it several times since. But at the same time, it is a niche thing, and so you don't know until you see how big that niche is, because that niche today is much bigger than it ever was before. And when they put it out on Comic Book Men and that episode airs, you guys, that's wonderful thinking.
I mean, people want to see the movie. We want to get it to you, but
you're thinking not only as a film creator, but as a filmmaker, as a person in an industry. It's a business.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to do that. That's an amazing thing. And she's going to hold that damn card up until I shut up. That's not going to happen. We're chatting. We're enjoying this.
We're hanging out.
We're hanging out. You told him he could hang out over here. Okay? So you
did tell me.
All right. Well, I'll wrap it up. As I wrap it up, folks, I want to say thank you very much to our partners and our friends at Something Unique Magazine, Space Coast Comics, Wordfire Press, Famous Faces and Funnies, Off the Chain Radio with Yvonne Mason, and Heather Reed with Asylum Convention and Entertainment Services. We want to thank those guys for sharing these videos all over the World Wide Web, sharing some fantastic creators, filmmakers, authors, artists of all kinds. I'm GW Pomichter. We've been hanging with Ryan James, the producer of Shooting Clerks. Remember, folks, subscribe, log on, tune in, see who we're hanging with next.
Discarded by Michael J. Allen. In a world where magic is sold like designer coffee, unknown forces have corrupted it, and it's killing people. Now, an unlikely hero emerges. A homeless ex-con creating spells out of a trash can is the only one who can save the city. Michael J. Allen's Discarded. Available on Amazon.com.
How you doing, everybody? This is KG Bethlehem. I'm an author of a new book called Certain Moments of Time. It's a collection of short stories. These short stories range from post-apocalyptic, dystopian, anti-utopia, as well as general fiction. You can find Certain Moments of Time on sale at Amazon.com, where you can purchase the ebook format as well as paperback format. You can also purchase it at Lulu.com, paperback format, and will be on sale soon at BarnesandNoble.com.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome to the Hangin with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter, and we are here at MegaCon 2018, hanging with the devil himself. All right, man, what are you doing here?
Doing like everyone else is doing. I'm signing books.
Wait, you're signing books?
Well, it's really...
What book do they want you to sign?
Every hotel in this place had a book that they all brought to me. It's called the Gideon something about the Bible. I'm the only signature they can't get.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
What? It's been the last job I had. I was doing excavation. I like that hole under the White House. That worked out really good. I caught Melania trying to get out last night. Just saying.
Now I know how they got in. Wait for it. It's
contract. I want all the lawyers. What the hell's wrong with you people?
We're here right now at MegaCon 2018. We're hanging with Mitch Hyman, the creator of Bubba the Redneck Werewolf, and of course, the creator of this fine devilish character.
Yeah, not that guy in L.A. that has that big fancy nightclub. I was just out there. I got news for you. 2-drink minimum? Really? I did 4 and knocked them under the table. Anyway, what were we doing? We're working. Okay,
there you go. We're working. Man, you just got back from L.A. For real?
Yeah, actually, just getting back from L.A. because we're working on the next Bubba movie.
You're working on the next Bubba movie?
We're putting it all together, plus a couple other projects. So I can give you guys really the inside of what you're going to need to do if you want to take your comic, your concept, and get it to the attention of these kind of people. Because the one thing they told me I was out there I was very surprised by, besides throwing me off the lot for being a bum. They had...
You too, huh?
No. You're going to love this. they had his name in the game.
They wouldn't even let me in anymore.
But all kidding around aside, here's the thing. They were telling me they were just like, I was a hero to them. I'm talking to these executives from some big studios. They're going, how am I a hero to you? They said, because I took my intellectual property from a comic, then took it into further, like making it toys and for merchandising. Then we made the movie, and I made the movie myself. I hired a crew. I hired all the people as the executive producer. We all got together, got the actors, got everything done, and then we were able to produce the film, which went to #1 on Hulu. It was the most popular during Halloween. And the best part of it comes down to Amazon Prime, Walmart had the DVDs.
Multiple award winner, by the way.
And it went to Sitges, Spain at the Big Fantasy Festival. And now it's in worldwide distribution with another one coming. I will not be working with the crew I worked with before. They were nice independent guys. This is now going to be studio. So now we're going to change the game. I was out there talking to people, seeing the newest in technology. VR, one of the top technology companies with VR. Wait till you see what's coming. But the great thing is, it's going to make it so much easier for these guys to make their concepts now.
Well, and that's just it. We talked last year, just before the holidays, about the arts and entertainment paradigm and how it's shifted and how more and more independent creators are taking properties to the next level. And there you are, from independent comic creator to working with independent filmmakers to now taking that same independent project and moving it into the next level, bringing it into studio level.
And here's the really important thing, because they just had a convention up in Philadelphia, the WizardCon, and Sony, Columbia were there interviewing and taking pitches. The more of this, I think, is going to start happening, which means you guys out there have got to get prepared. You've got to start promoting. Don't sit behind your table and going, these are my books, and you can take a look at them, and they're half off today. Don't you dare do that. Because this is the only way to prove your worth, by saying it's got that worth. You stand up, talk to these people, be direct, and the best thing is, you know social media, you know what you need to do.
It's a new world,
It's nothing to it. It's so easy.
This is a place. We're in probably a renaissance, a revolution for creativity.
It really is.
And this is the time to be out there, and like you said, not resting on your laurels, but pushing and really promoting, because it's happening for more and more now.
It's a new era. And with the shake, I'm going to be honest with you.
You're out there walking around, you're moving and shaking with guys that have been in this industry, on the top tier of this industry for a very long time. It took us a long time to get them to notice that we were here.
And they were happy to actually see me as a primary creator. Funny thing is, a lot of times it turns out they really respect us a lot more. You hear about the writers, they don't like writers, creators. They love us, because you know what? I got told by one exec, the director has no vision. He says he has a vision. He has no vision without what we created first, if they're going to work with us. And the actors have nothing to say unless we've set a line for even the writers that come later on, screenwriters, whoever, to give them something to say. Then they add their own pitch to it, and this whole thing becomes like gumbo. You get this whole thing, everybody pitches in.
It's a collaborative process.
It really is.
And down here in the trenches where the creators are, that's what we do. We write it down, but we look for artists to draw it. We look for filmmakers to create it.
Exactly.
We look, that's what we do on a daily basis, is collaborate. And it's a big collaboration, and once you learn how to do that,
you're good to go.
Yeah.
And here's the next step. There's something I want to tell you about called proof of concept. This means simply this. If you do a short little feature do a few minute film, something like that. If you can prove that it works, if you have makeup, get some makeup people, do your makeup. If you don't have makeup, then try to figure out a way to animate using all the animation programs that are out there. Show us your creative. Tell me a story in 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be people being busted out of a window. The guy taking a dog for a walk, the dog is taking a poop, and something happens in the background, and he reacts as that character to what's going on. And all he's worried about is whether his dog can get the poop up off the ground before the whole world blows up. Just something where you show me something quiet, then bring it out forward. And that advice came from a gentleman named Bob Schreck. And Bob Schreck was Frank Miller's editor for many, many years in a DC and a brilliant man.
You know, we tell a lot of our creators this because, you know, it's a business, it's a market. At the same time, so many people are afraid to invest in themselves without an instant return. And that's not the business we're in. We're not in the instant gratification business. Proof of concept is just that. Put your time, your heart, your energy, whatever resources you can into proving that what you got to do works.
Exactly.
Will it ever make a lot of money? Maybe not. If it's good, somebody will notice it.
Don't do it for the money because everybody worried about the money. The money will come, trust me. The thing I like the best is that I'm walking to one of the biggest studios in the world. The guards are actually happy to see me. They're actually coming down to talk to me from all kinds of places in the place. And every movie lot, by the way, these days, has 3 or 4 different production houses. And don't forget the streaming companies. And not all the big majors you talk about. The smaller ones are now looking for content. You've got people like, I guess, Crackle and Tubi. They're all ramped. They're getting ready to ramp up. They're looking for you. But you've got to be ready for it. And here's the thing with Bubba. I am now shopping to 3 or 4 now different studios. I'm going to see who comes up and who wants to move first. As soon as they move first, we're going to work out the deal. But at least they're bringing me in, they're shopping me, and I'm not saying it's a bidding war, but everyone wants to start and figure it out. Here's the thing you need to know about. Production slots. You may have somebody saying, oh, it's a great time to make a movie, let's go out here, it's the summer, we're filming, everybody's filming. Production slots come around every 4 to 7 months. If you catch them at the time they have a production slot, this is what it means they've got 5 shows they need to do. If something happens to one of the shows, the slot opens. Or they open up fresh slots because they're expanding their entire base. You've got to be in there for that slot. So don't expect it to happen tomorrow. Try to get in there and speak to them saying, well, when do you think you have a production slot?
That speaks to something we talk to all of our artists about a lot of the time, and that is, I think one of the fundamental tenets of being a good artist is mastery of the skills it takes to be an artist. Exactly. One of those is mastery of the business of our art. So if you're a filmmaker, learn the production schedules. If you're an author, learn when, what publishers are taking what now, what is selling now, what to market now. If you're a comic artist, what is the market screaming for more of or less of?
Exactly. And
that's part of our mastery of our skill. It's not just pointing the camera. It's not just writing the words. It is learning the marketplace that's out there. And that's what you're doing every single day. You're on the road learning more about your craft and your skill.
You can learn every day. Every day is a new lesson. But I'll tell you something I'm going to give you guys a big secret to. I've seen more people, including myself, come up through the ranks because they came to a show like this, or this show in particular. Because Garrett, Sage, and all the rest really know what they're talking about. And I even have other celebrities talking to me right now about coming to see these guys. Because really, if you're at a show and these guys are there, get on the interview list, get in here, and let this man and another wonderful lady that works here, and a lady behind the camera who you can't see, but
the devil made me misty.
If you could.
The devil made me misty.
I'm giving him Satan's recommendation, okay? And I didn't get paid off, and his soul's worthless.
I want to guys also remind you guys that you can order Bubba the Redneck Werewolf bourbon blend coffee at the Coffee Shop of Horrors.
And Sideshow Sauces now has a bourbon hot sauce. Okay, so we call it the hair of the dog that bit you.
Outstanding.
Stick, that's what it's all about.
Super cool, guys.
Bring on Mel Brooks.
We are at MegaCon 2018. She's about to hold that card up, so I know what to do. I know how to say thank you to our friends, Some Unique Magazine, Famous Faces and Funnies, Krypton Radio, Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason, Space Coast Comics, our great friends at Asylum Convention Entertainment Service, especially Brian Wensloff, Heather Reed. We want to thank them for helping us get in here at MegaCon and have some fantastic creative arts interviews. We want to thank all of you for tuning in over and over again. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Come back, log on, tune in, see who we're hanging with next.